see that over there? That's the Beachy Head lighthouse, I think. Pretty sure that's what it is anyway. It's very pretty. I've been sat here for nearly an hour now and I don't have any intention of moving. You see that over there? That's Eastbourne. And that's where I've walked from. I am in fact here for a reason. I suppose it's a bit of soul searching really. I'm here around this part of the world for several days. And yeah, got a lot of thinking to do. Oh, there's some people over there. We'll wait for them to go and then we can have a chat. I feel like I'm at a bit of a crossroads in my life at the minute. I'm about to leave a salaried job, my first salaried job, which has been teaching kids to make music, and there's been a lot of great things about it, but this crossroads has come from a decision that I've made that basically to completely change the way that I think about what I really want out of life. Up till now, I've sort of just gone through all the hoops. Gone to school, got good grades, went to uni, did pretty well. Applied for a full-time job, got it straight out of uni, which I know is quite a privileged thing to say. Not everyone can say that now. And yeah, doing basically what my family would have expected me to do, what my teachers would have expected me to do, go play by the rules, do all of that, get a salary, pay your bills and your taxes, and have these holidays at very strict times. And well, basically I feels a bit like the walls have sort of been closing in on me. Like the more I follow the path, I don't want to do that anymore. It's very limiting. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure that's like the story of most people. I mean, what does school really teach you other than to be compliant and to function in a specific way in society? You know, we have curriculums and exams that you either pass or fail. You make friends, they grow up, a lot of them, or yourself included, will go through the motions of getting a partner and getting a house and having kids. I mean, I'm only 24 and I know many people, multiple people, who are either my age or younger, who have already bought a house, or who have, I say bought a house, got a massive hefty mortgage to pay off. Either bought a house, gotten married, or gone the way of having kids, or you know, 2 or 3 of those. And I mean, it seems so narrow. It's like, are those the only options? I don't think so. I sort of demand more out of life than that. And most people, and the thing is, all of those things, they trap you for many years in the same place, and having to basically fall prey to all of the economic conditions of wherever you have made those decisions. And I think it's safe to say, as someone in the UK, or someone in the Western Anglophone world, that times, you know, are not economically stable. There's a lot of things going wrong at the minute. Cost of living crisis, Brexit, gradual collapse of society, climate crisis, that affects the whole world. But we caused it played a big part in it, the Western Anglophone world. And yet we go to school and they tell us, well, they don't tell us directly, but there's sort of this path, rite of passage, that seems to be quite narrow and leads to those things. And I don't want it. I've had enough. And to be honest, for a long time I thought I could be happy, you know, going down that path and doing what people basically expect me to do. But no, I reject it. Of course, I want to find love and maybe have kids eventually and settle down in a beautiful place, but I want to be in a happy place to do it. And with the exception of nice days like this and pretty places like this, I don't think there's a future in the UK for me. Everything seems to be in decline. The paint seems to be peeling off the walls figuratively, especially in the north of England where I live. So I need a change. And that's where the turning point comes in my life, really, at the minute. I've got a couple options I could go down. I could get up the standards and actually get fairly good at another language, be it French, German or Italian, and move to the continent and try to build a life that at the moment might look, to me it looks like it might be quite similar to here, albeit just a bit better and in a nicer place and with better financial circumstances, paying rent on an apartment somewhere in Europe, in a pretty place in Europe, and doing the same job that I'm doing, teaching music but in a different language and taking a wage for it. Or I can go out there to the sea and work on cruise ships, play the piano. Those aren't the only options. I've looked at other options as well, but those seem to be the two most viable ones at the minute. I'm yet to find some other options. I've looked at just other normal salary jobs and the prospects of starting my own business, but there's a whole lot of stuff to go through there, and the clock's ticking on me making this decision, because I need to, whatever I do, I need to make sure that I have the money to sustain it. Yeah, and in the job search and looking at things and expectations for applications, some jobs are so uninspiring, like investment manager and software engineer. It doesn't really do anything for me. So do I just have to suck it up, or do I demand better and push for it for myself? I say risk it and do the latter at the moment, but it is a risk, and to be honest, I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit scared it's not going to work, but I'm doing it anyway. Wish me luck. The sea's looking so blue today. It's gorgeous. I really don't want to leave. I'm probably gonna stay here until the sun sets. Quite possibly. But I've just been looking back at the clips that I've just recorded, and I couldn't help but notice the limitations in my own sort of thinking of what I can do. It's made me ask, actually, what do I really want out of life? And how do I know? That's a biggie. Have you ever asked yourself that? I know that I crave certain things. I'm a creative person. Well, I feel creative. I love making things. And I love traveling and discovering things and capturing it, either in photo or drawing or making a model of it, or filming it in a certain way. And when I'm at a piano, or an organ though, or an accordion, but mostly a piano, I just feel inclined to like play it. And I love music. I love listening to it. Listening to some good music is sometimes literally the only thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. But I know that it's everything in life has to be monetized, at least, you know, to function in a society like this one, with its sort of neoclassical economics. So how the hell do I monetize it? That's something I'm working on. And there's always going to be risks, and I just have to take them and be a little less risk averse. I've travelled to over 10 countries just this year. I get a massive kick out of travelling in the set holiday times that I have, that are dictated by school terms. And I realised quite quickly that whilst for some people getting away is just a holiday, for me it's actually just living. Like, I only really feel alive when I'm moving and seeing different places and having changes of scenery. If I stay in the same place for too long, I get depressed. And it certainly feels like a depression. I've got itchy feet. I can't stay still. I say, whilst being sat here saying I can't leave this, but this is an exception. Look, I mean, why would you want to leave this? I'll leave when it's too cold for me. So, yeah. But I think it's okay. It should be okay for you to really ask yourself that. And not just to ask yourself that question, but to be like, how can I make this work for me? How can I use this to make a life that's better for me? And regardless of what other people expect of you, because I think we feel expected to go down these narrow lines, these narrow pathways of life, and you know, stay within the rules of what other people want of us, whether it's the expectations of our family or our mentors or just society in general. And I think it's kind of a toxic thing, and it's so ironic, I think, that we feel pressured to comply from a very young, early age in a society that supposedly prides itself on individualism and entrepreneurialism and creativity, and how it's ironic considering how much culture we keep going back to in films and music and art that would have been completely impossible if that person just followed the rules, whoever made it. We need to demand better. We need to demand more from life. We need to protest the things that we don't feel are right for us and for life. And we need to be free, feel free to express ourselves in a way that we feel is authentic to us. And we need to have the space to feel the space to be authentic and to really work out who we are, because nobody can be categorized by just one word or the other. And yet the entirety of economics and the modern world seems to be built on the premise of you're either this or you're that. So yeah, I reject it. Thanks for listening to my rambly, terrible impression of a TED Talk. Demand better. Demand more from life for yourself. I'll leave it there. Bye bye.